All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles entered the 2020 NFL season as the team to beat in the NFC East, but the Eagles' only saving grace at this point of the season is the fact that simply they play in the NFC East. Philly is currently 3-6-1, and a big reason for that is the play of starting quarterback Carson Wentz. Now, back in 2016, the Eagles made Wentz the second overall pick of the NFL draft, and you immediately saw the promise. It was a situation where, he got better and better as a rookie as the season progressed. He went 7-9, but honestly, that was nothing to sneeze at due to the fact that year, Philly was the only team in the NFC East to have a losing record. And also, both Dallas and the Giants were postseason bound. So it's a situation where, hey, he looked like he could hold his own and the future was bright. 2017 turned around and Wentz was playing like an MVP. He started the season by throwing 33 touchdowns and just 7 interceptions in 13 games. Philly was 11-2 with him under center, but then his season was cut short due to a knee injury, and then he had to watch Nick Foles come off the bench and lead Philly to the Super Bowl title. Now, since then, we've seen an up and down quarterback in Wentz. Eagles head coach Doug Peterson, he goes back. For a time, he went back and forth between Wentz and Foles. Sometimes Wentz, sometimes Foles, and then Philly got back to the playoffs in 2018, and they decided to ride with Foles. He got him there, almost got him to the NFC Championship game for the second consecutive year, and then they lost. But then on the flip side, Philly parted with Foles. They lost him in free agency. And then it was Wentz's show. Wentz has had the keys to the car, but bottom line is, he's had trouble driving it. And, this season already, we've seen Wentz throw 14 interceptions, including 2 more today, with one of them being a pick 6. The 14 picks, they lead the NFL. And the bottom line is, when you see Carson Wentz play, he is not a quarterback in the pocket who is sure of himself. He has happy feet, and at the end of the day, he's forcing throws. He doesn't seem comfortable with his reads at times, and honestly, it's really taking away from his ability as far as what he can do for himself, and as well as this Eagles offense. Aside from the 2 picks today, he was also sacked in the end zone for a safety versus the Browns, which ain't going to cut it. And Wentz's inability at quarterback has really kept the rest of the teams alive in the NFC least. I mean, you figure, if you want to go back a few weeks with the Philadelphia Eagles, they were 3-4-1, and they had 2 big victories. They had come back to beat the New York Giants in week 7 at home, and then they dominated the Dallas Cowboys in week number 8. They were 3-4-1 heading into their bye. And it looked like, hey, Philly's about to put this thing into another gear, get it going, and basically just show that they are the best team in this division. They come out of their bye. They laid an egg on the road versus the New York Giants. They lost that contest 27-17, and honestly, that game wasn't even that close. And then today, I know that the elements were not perfect in Cleveland, but it's still a situation. Philly did not come to play versus the Browns, and that's not to take anything away because the Cleveland Browns are a good team. They're 7-3 right now, but that was a situation where Philly definitely had their opportunities to win that game, and they didn't. And at the end of the day, it comes down to what Carson Wentz has been doing, or more importantly, not been doing, in order to help this team win. And I know it's a situation where, the Eagles have dealt with some injuries this season, but the bottom line is when you pay a quarterback like Wentz in the fashion that the Eagles have paid him, it's his job to elevate this team around him and step his game up and get everybody else to step their games up respectively as well. You're looking at a guy right now in Wentz. He's completing less than 60% of his passes this season, including the 5 sacks today. You're talking about a guy who's been sacked now 40 times so far this season. We still got 6 games to go for the Eagles, and he has also fumbled 10 times, which, it comes down to timing, it comes down to the mechanics, and it comes down to your inner clock as a quarterback in that pocket. Right now, at least, it's safe to say Wentz is not the answer for Philly at quarterback, but at the end of the day, they're stuck with him due to his contract. And you just have to ask yourself, can Peterson fix Wentz? And there's a possibility that he can fix Wentz, but if Peterson doesn't do it, I mean, that's if Philly decided to part with Peterson after the season. I highly doubt it, but you never know. But whoever is the head coach for the Eagles in 2021, it's a situation where Carson Wentz needs to get back to the basics, and it's not something that's going to get fixed between now and the end of the regular season. When I say the basics, he's got to go back to work on his mechanics as far as his footwork in the pocket, holding the football, that inner clock, releasing the football, work on his accuracy, and more importantly, film study and film preparation. And that's not to say that Carson Wentz doesn't go out there and take care of his business as far as preparing to play an NFL game each and every Sunday, but it's a situation where what he's doing right now is not good enough, and it has to get better. And the bottom line is, like I said, if it was a situation where Philly could walk away from this and not have as much dead cap money attached to Carson Wentz, I think that they would go ahead and do it. I know that the Eagles did raise some eyebrows earlier this season, drafting quarterback Jalen Hurts so early in the NFL draft, and they've used him in packages. But the bottom line is Wentz is still their guy. All of the tools are there, but it's one of those things you got to get back to getting those tools to function properly. It's going to start with mechanics. It's going to start with preparation. And the bottom line is Carson Wentz has to take his game to another level. He has to be able to elevate his play and elevate the play of the people around him. Has not been able to do it so far this year. It's shown big time. I mean, Philly is 3-6-1. That should not be the case. We should be talking about this Eagles team being 6-4, if not 7-3, and running away with this division. But like I said, they've allowed everybody else in this division a chance. So you look at it, Philly's right in the mix. They definitely have a puncher's chance to win the NFC East. But even with that said, if Carson Wentz does not, and I repeat, does not play better and does not step up his game in the final 6 weeks of the season, that puncher's chance will be the equivalent to a bantamweight getting in the ring with a heavyweight. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. I want to thank all of the subscribers out there. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There is also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.